Check. Lions on the prowl. Lions on the prowl. Always put in work. Always going wild. Lions on the prowl. Lions on the prowl. Always put in work. Always going wild. Best quarterbacks you ever heard. Get up, Matthew Stafford. Golden Tate, Marvin Jones. They gon' get it in the zone. No matter how they try to fan. Darius Slay gon' get it in. That Patricia Ball Quinn. Making sure our players win. Got a dangerous offensive. They always bring the pain. Talking about that Ricky Wagner. Can't forget about TJ Lane. Detroit Lions got it locked. Tim and Jim gon' let you know. This the Lions on the prowl. Come on, time to start the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lions on the Prowl. This is episode number 20, and my name's Jim.
Maniac Tim here, and man, am I excited because we have started training camp.
Finally, football is here.
Yeah, we get to see the new look of the Detroit Lions.
A new defense, a new players, Kerryon Bags Johnson.
Yep, Frank Ragnow.
Frank Ragnow at center guard.
Right. But we got to get to the business as far as who brings us.
Let's pay the bills. Our sponsor this week is West Michigan Nutrition. They're located at 1705 South Beacon Boulevard in Grand Haven, Michigan. Come on in and tell them Tim and Jim sent you to get an energizing tea and a nutritious, delicious shake. We are also, big news from last week, if you didn't hear, we're on iHeartRadio. And please follow us on iHeartRadio. If you just type in Lions, we're like the first podcast on the thing there.
Yeah, just look for our logo.
Yep. Look for the logo. Look for us, and we'll be there. We're also on Spotify and iTunes, and those are all ways that you can subscribe, and that would really help the show if you hit the subscribe button. We are also on YouTube, but we're just doing the regular show with the background of our logo at this point until we get video better figured out, because we don't want to bring you a bunch of crap. It's really just being realistic.
But it gives you guys another outlet for you to find us. So.
Right. Just another way you can find the show. So, any shout-outs for you this week?
Okay, of course. Colt from work.
Colt.
Also, my wife, Sherry. And William Clay Ford.
William Clay Ford
Jr.
Okay,
yeah.
I was going to say.
But, the Ford family for not giving up on the team. Some of the things that they've been doing this year is really exciting to me, and past few years. So.
That's good. Mine is Patrick at work, my wife Val, and that's about it for this week.
Right.
Yeah, last week was kind of a rough week for us, so getting into this week, we have our Legend of the Week. Our Legend of the Week is kind of tied into a story that we talked about 2 weeks ago with Jim Branstetter being let go as the color commentator for the Detroit Lions. And now we have Lomas Brown, who is going to be our Legend of the Week this week.
Yep. And I remember seeing him play, those good years, because
blocking for Billy Sims or Barry Sanders.
Yep.
Same BS.
Yeah. But, unfortunately, Billy Sims did end his career a lot earlier than we thought he should have due to injuries, unfortunately. But
Billy Sims was hurt.
But Barry Sanders came in and he just really made us kind of forget about Billy Sims, because Barry Sanders was that darn good.
Yes, he was.
But, when you also look at it, he had a good offensive line, too. And Lomas Brown.
Lomas Brown was a good offensive lineman, but they had a lot of tragedy on that offensive line.
Yeah,
let's go into Lomas Brown. He's 6'4", 282 pounds. He was a sixth pick in the first round of the 1985 NFL draft by the Detroit Lions, so he's a first-rounder. He played 10 seasons with the Lions from 85 to 95. He played 18 seasons in total. He also played for the Arizona Cardinals, Cleveland Browns. Ooh. Yuck. Sorry, Lomas, you played for Cleveland. Anyway, New York Giants, Tampa Bay, and won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay.
Yep.
So that's one of the Lions that went on from our team to win a Super Bowl. And there's been quite a few. Ray Crockett comes to mind. And Kyle Van Noy was in the Super Bowl last year.
Right.
Oh, that's so sick.
But now, of course, we're bringing former Patriots and other Super Bowl people over here, So hopefully we'll bring a Super Bowl to Detroit soon.
Yeah, he played 263 career games and started in 251 of them. He was named to the NFC Pro Bowl 6 straight seasons from 1990 to 1996. And he, like we said, he blocked for Barry Sanders for 6 seasons.
Yeah.
And Sanders accumulated 10,172 yards, an average of 4.9 yards a carry, and 73 rushing touchdowns during that time.
Wow. He was that damn good.
Yeah.
Excuse the French.
That's not French. I know French.
I know, but...
Member of the Lions teams that made the playoffs in 91, 93, 94, and 95.
Yep.
Back when we used to make the playoffs.
Every year almost,
Remember the 91 and 93 squads that won an NFC Central, back when it was the Central.
Right.
Division title. And the Central had Tampa Bay in it.
Yeah, it did.
And it's the only difference between the North and the Central
Yeah.
is that we had Tampa Bay in it.
Right, and of course the league expanded, and then they went to 4 divisions instead of just the 3 divisions that they had before.
Right. And he's an NFL Network, ESPN News and ESPN First Take analyst right now.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's going to co-host a sports show in Detroit, Michigan, and he's also going to be the color commentator for the Detroit Lions on the radio this year.
Right.
So that's Lomas Brown. That's our legend of the week. If you have we're going to switch this. I want to let you know now that out there that we are switching legend of the week to player of the week starting 2 weeks from now.
Okay. Yeah.
Because our first player of the week will be Matthew Stafford.
Oh wow. Okay.
We're going to take all the current players so you get to know them a little better, know about their stats, about who they are, where they came from, where they played. Things like that. So that you get to know the roster better and have a better understanding of who these players are, what they bring to our team. We did Legend of the Week because, we don't know what our roster is going to be yet. But the plan was to switch up to that. If you still want us to keep doing Legends of the Week, let us know. Our email is lionsontheprowl14@gmail.com. You can let us know through our Facebook group, which is Detroit Lions on the Prowl, or our Facebook page, which is Lions on the Prowl. I think everything we have is Lions on the Prowl. We have Twitter, it's LOTP, Lions on the Prowl 14. I think it is.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Just messing around, guys. So this week, training camp. Yay!
Yeah.
Football is finally here. People are the veterans reported on Thursday, and the team practiced Friday. We are taping this on Saturday afternoon. So pads come out tomorrow for the first time.
Wow!
And we're getting to football.
Yeah. Oh God, we can't wait.
Getting to football. Thank God.
Yep.
Sorry.
And of course, our Maniac Fan of the Month is Chuck Hill.
Chuck Hill. Thank you for being the Maniac Fan of the Month. We wanted to make sure we mention you every show. And we're coming up on August. We're going to have a new Maniac Fan of the Month. But I'm going to talk a little bit about our team just in general in fantasy football. I know Kevin Frentner does the fantasy football for us most weeks. And he keeps quoting on different things we've quoted before from Pro Football Focus.
Right.
Well, Pro Football Focus and us have an agreement where we are an affiliate sponsor for them.
Yes,
so I wanted to give you this little bit about Pro Football Focus. If you want to dominate your league with all the fantasy stats and the scouting analysis, roster tools, and all the rankings you'll ever need. They go in-depth, each position, how many times they get the ball, what their rating is. This is a very in-depth research tool that you can use because, let's face it, you may not be a fan of every single team and know every single player in the league. Pro Football Focus helps you with that by player grades, NFL draft coverage throughout the year. See, there's 2 packages here. There's one PFF Edge subscription for $39.99 a year, and it's only $9.99 a month. Or to upgrade to the PFF Elite subscription for $199 a year and $34.99 a month to get even more. You can go to lionsontheprowl.com and click on the PFF banner on the right-hand side of the page to sign up. The Elite members get everything in the Edge, plus they get premium stats. They get player grades by game and player pre-snap position counts. So it kind of helps to know how many times your person's going to see the ball.
Right, yeah, and as most people know, in fantasy football, a lot goes by scoring. So, you want the best team out there, on the
Right.
field. So,
Right. And this is a way to get the upper hand on those leagues that actually give you money for
Right.
winning.
yeah,
This would not be a bad idea. So if you were thinking about that anyway, you could help the show by going to lionsontheprowl.com. We receive a commission for that, and that will help the show for us to buy stuff to go to video,
yes.
which is the big goal right now. All right.
Oh, yeah.
The Lions do make a move this week. They make an expected move.
Mm-hmm.
They sign Ricky Jean-Francois. I am saying my French.
Yeah, you got a good accent. I wouldn't try to say that
He
that way.
6'3", 315 pounds. He's 31 years old, defensive tackle. He's going to be a rotational defensive player.
Right.
He had the decision to make between several teams and didn't know who he wanted to play for, and that's why it took so long. We were reporting that we thought he was going to be signed in March, and I had reported that here, that I thought it would be imminent any day. It actually took him a lot longer to make the decision than we thought, but here it is, as predicted by us way back in March.
So, Jim, what do you think brought him here?
Matt Patricia.
Yep. And also the system that he really
The system he's
kind of
comfortable
knows.
with.
So,
He said himself that he believes there's a championship Super Bowl pedigree here.
all right. Yes.
Yeah, he does. And so he says, I don't care what happened in the past. I know what's here now.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So that was something that he had said. Brings me to a point, though, because a lot of people wanted Jonathan Hankins.
Right.
And I didn't think that was going to happen. And one of the reasons was because I think I know what they're trying to do here.
Yep.
And so we're going to go into that right now. The offense is led by Jim Bob Cooter, which was led by Jim Bob Cooter last year. It's not a New England offense.
No.
It's the Lions offense from last year.
Right.
There may be a little bit of tweaking to it, a little bit of something different. The defense, however, is brand new and is from New England.
Exactly.
So why not bring in people at every level of the defense to be mentors?
Right. True.
To young players, to players who don't know the system yet, like extra coaches.
Right.
And so we brought Ricky Jean-Francois in, and he is going to be that for the defensive line.
So that's cool. That's,
Because at linebacker, we got Jonathan Freeney, who was from New England.
Yep.
And we signed last year Tavon Wilson
Yep.
at safety to be in the DB defensive line section. So at each three levels of the defense, we have somebody that had been in the New England system and that can help and teach other people.
Yeah. And this kind of goes back to an article that you had written before where, where was Quinn actually building for Patricia since he's been here?
Yeah.
And
totally believe he has.
Yes.
I totally think that this is exactly what he was building for, and I'm actually really happy.
Right.
Because I think that this is going to be a roster that can kind of hang with anybody.
Right.
And that's what Bob Quinn has come out and said. He said this roster can compete with anyone.
Yeah.
He said, I have some things to do yet. Whether I do it at the trade deadline or I do it next year, there's still some things to do.
Right.
But it's awfully close.
Okay. Wow. So and really that's why, when Martha went ahead and cleaned house, that's why she went ahead and brought Quinn in.
I'm surprised you didn't hire a maid to clean that.
Well, it would have needed to be a big old.
See her with a broom in the office.
Well, she just needs to go ahead and pull out the wallet and say, "All right, you're gone. You're not."
That's true.
But you bring in winners. And not only just one thing, one person. You bring in, a system.
But you brought in also LeGarrette Blount from
you did.
New England.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he was at the Eagles last year, but he was with New England the year before. And now he's in the running back group.
And, of course.
And Matt Castle's in the quarterbacks group, who used to be from New England.
Right.
So the only position that I'm aware of, there's a couple.
Yeah.
There's nobody that I know of in the tight end group, and there's nobody that I know of in the offensive line group that I know of. Or in a wide receiver position.
Right.
But it looks like a good roster.
Yeah.
But looks like a really good roster.
Yeah. And of course we had, as far as for the wide receivers, I mean, they have been great all along,
Yeah.
So.
And we're going to get into this because there was a scare today.
Okay. So
let's get into this. as reported last week by us, Lions on the Prowl, we talked about the hidden injuries that were going to come up this week. And I said Friday they may be out.
Yeah, you did.
And Friday we found out that Ziggy Ansah is on the physically unable to perform list. At Kennard, that guy that we were going to rely on for pass rush and linebacking and everything.
Yes.
He's on the non-football injury list.
Right.
Cornelius Washington is hurt. Some of these injuries, there's a couple issues here.
Yeah.
Tracy Walker today had no helmet.
Yeah.
He was in shorts on the sideline. He's doing some kind of an injury. Nevin Lawson was not there today. The big scare.
Yes, I
Marvin
know.
Jones went down with a leg injury today and could not complete practice. He says he's fine, but we have heard other people say they were fine before too, Javid Best. And they never play again. But I don't believe that with him. I don't. I believe Marvin Jones when he says he's fine. He may take a couple days off. I think he'll be all right.
Right. And, of course, you don't want to aggravate that worse when you're just, praying for – not praying, playing for practice. You want
he could be praying for practice too. I don't really know.
Yeah, I know. He sure could be. But when you don't want to go ahead and make it more severe when you're just getting ready.
Exactly.
We want him there for the season.
We do.
But of course you do need to take reps and stuff like that. But we don't want it to cost too much to the team.
I agree with that. The other thing is that the Lions require a physical before you can perform.
Right.
And so it's possible that Kennard and Ziggy Ansah have not passed the physical.
Right.
Because it could be very strenuous. This happened a few years ago that someone, I can't remember who it was, but they didn't pass the physical.
Right.
And so they put him on the PUP list until they could do so many push-ups or so many. I can't remember what the whole thing was, but they just couldn't. I think it was. I thought it was Fairley, but I'm not sure.
I think you're right.
I thought it was Nick Fairley, but I could be mistaken. I don't want to lead you on that path there. But this could be something as simple as conditioning. But
could
to be honest, I'd rather it be an injury. Because
When
if it's
that could get healed.
conditioning, I'm questioning things with. Some of these people that are Kennard, we just got.
Right.
He's supposed to be an integral part of the defense.
Yep.
But I want people to understand something because we haven't talked a whole lot about Christian Jones of Bears. That guy, he led the Bears in tackles last year. Led the team.
Wow. Yep.
And he's flying way under the radar for me. I think he's a starter.
Okay.
I think that it could be him, Kennard, and the guy in the middle, 40. Why can't I remember his name now?
I'm sorry, I can't either.
Jared Davis.
All right.
Yeah, Jared Davis.
Yep.
So that's kind of some news coming out of training camp. As always, what injuries are they hiding?
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest with you, I don't like this.
I know.
Most fans don't. I've always asked the question, why do you hide the injuries? Why do we see these guys on the injured list and we don't know what the heck's wrong with them, when they're coming back, if they're coming back?
Right.
And my thought has always been that it's because they want to sell tickets. Which,
definitely could be the reason,
Like if Calvin Johnson's on an injured list or whatever,
Right.
You think he could be back the next week because you don't know what the injury is. You might go buy tickets for a game or two ahead. Right. And then you find out he's out for the year. But you know what I'm saying? It's just things like that really drive me nuts. But Matt Patricia came out and he answered the question for the first time in a way that I actually understood. He said that they're not medical professionals.
Right.
And so they're really not qualified to give updates on the players.
Okay.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So put the dang doctor out there and give us the damn update.
Yep. Of course, there also could be in some ways in some of these things, a kernel of hope that they might be ready to play the next week. You know?
Like that kernel of hope that kept popping up about Javid Best for like a year.
I know.
John Levy for every game that we thought he was coming back and never did. I mean, it was week to week where it's like, is he playing? Is he not playing? Is he? Nope, he's not playing again this week.
Nope.
What? He was ready and all this. It's just, this is one of the things that drives me nuts about football. I mean, there was another team. I can't remember who they were. Whether it was Dallas or somebody with a very vocal ownership came out and just told everybody, "Yep, this guy's out for a few weeks." You know,
Right.
Lions, can they do that? Oh no, because it's a big secret. And how has that helped us over the last 50 years?
It really hasn't.
If we've had the competitive advantage, I sure as heck haven't seen it.
No,
because we have not won a Super Bowl yet, and we're still doing this BS about the not telling anybody about the injuries, and I don't like it. I really don't like it.
Right.
I don't think any fan out there, true fan, really does.
No, you really want to be updated, as far as what, the whole picture, as far as what's going.
Right. You can't sell us a roster in the off season and say, yeah, we're going to be good here, we're going to be good there, we're going to do this right, we're going to do that right. And then you start thinking about, they got this player, this player, and this player, and then this player and this player and this player are all hurt. So you don't have them anyway.
Yeah.
But he has been building depth.
So that might change,
Maybe we're going to be okay here.
Right.
I mean, there's nobody huge here that I don't think we could do without even.
Right.
Even Ziggy, we did without him before. I mean, for the most part, we did without him most of last year. So I don't think that's an issue. Tracy Walker, I'm not sure where that is.
Yeah.
They did say Kennard was sprinting, so it looks like he could be ready soon.
Right.
Ziggy's working over on the sideline with ropes and some kind of weird thing, so I don't know. Nevin Lawson, that's an interesting one because when Darius Slay was questioned about that, he said that it's not he said it was a personal thing. Now, whether he was talking about it's personal to him, he can tell you, or it was a personal issue and he'll be back, I'm not really sure.
Right.
He did say it was a personal thing. Now let's get into training camp and what is going on, position battles, everything you want to know right here at Lions on the Prowl. The second corner position. Remember when we thought Tease Tabor was having that on lock earlier in the season? Not so fast.
Right.
Deshaun Shed gets all the number one reps at the second corner position, and the second day, same thing.
Yep. And didn't we have kind of two different results per day?
Yeah. She wasn't so good against a lot of people yesterday, but he picked it up today.
Yeah.
He picked it up today. And number one, they don't have pads on yet. You really can't tell anything about these players until they do.
Yeah.
And that comes tomorrow. I wish we could bring you a show with that, but we will bring that show to you next week. Like we're true to our word. We bring our show to you every week. And, we want to bring two shows to you, but unfortunately, I can't do this for a living right now. So I have to work. Tim has to work. And when we work different shifts. There's just no way to get together to do it.
Right.
So we apologize, but it looks like it's going to be one show a week for the foreseeable future unless something drastically changes.
Right.
So just letting you know about that. LeGarrette Blount gets most of the first-team carries this week. Kerryon Johnson does very little.
Yep.
He's probably one of the most requested player that fans wanted to keep an eye on during the draft. This is during the training camp. I think Dave Burkett was writing this.
Right.
And after getting a lot of first-team reps during minicamp, the Lions mostly chose to run LeGarrette Blount and Riddick.
Right.
Today. And even Amir Abdullah had reps over Bags.
So how is he really going to... How are we really going to see him if they don't give him the reps? But there's just so many running backs,
Well, could it be he's just learning the offense and watching the other ones and stuff like
bring
this?
him up to speed.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to read too much into anything that's going on right now. Remember the big blow up about Ragnow's going to be a left guard because he's playing left guard. He's playing left guard.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, he's playing left guard again.
Yeah.
But they're saying they're going to give him a shot at center.
Yeah. But what did Patricia tell us?
He told us that don't read too much into who's starting here and there, but we do. We're going to.
Well, as fans, we do. We look at it and try to predict. And sometimes we're right, sometimes we're not.
Most of the time, actually, I think we are.
Yep.
Especially with some of the stuff that comes up, like the injuries and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I was saying that last week. And, of course, here it comes.
Yep.
But, okay, so defensive line starters. Because Ziggy's out. We got Kerry Hyder.
Yep.
And it looks like they're running a four-man front right now.
Okay.
Ashawn Robinson.
Yep.
Sylvester Williams. And Anthony Zettel. And there's another guy, Barrett,
Yeah.
that was an undrafted free agent last year that took all the first-team reps this time.
Right.
And he's rated above Hyder almost now.
Oh, wow.
I guess he's doing very well. And so he's somebody to keep an eye on. And the linebackers looked really good in pass coverage. The tight ends actually looked better the next day.
Right.
So that went pretty good for both parties, actually, because our linebackers are reading the plays pretty good, and now the tight ends are picking it up. Second-team offense looks way behind the second-team defense. That's normal for this kind of year, this time of year. So let's see. That looks like about what we have for training camp this week. There was a drill that was an end zone drill where they looked like we're working on pushing the wide receivers out of bounds.
Okay.
So before the ball's in the air, contact is allowed.
Right.
So you can push the player out of bounds. He becomes an ineligible receiver. Thus he can't come back in and catch the ball.
So that's
so it's kind of a cheat thing, but we're New England now, so I guess that's okay.
New England has been known as being a dirty player, so but they have won a lot of Super Bowls.
Yeah. Here's the rule, though. When the quarterback leaves the pocket, there's no such thing as illegal contact.
Right.
Corners can be as physical as they want until the ball is in the air.
Yeah. Here's a question. Is that a judgment call for the ref? Because, the refs have not liked us.
I mean,
is a ref going to go ahead and call it against us when they really shouldn't?
I think Matt Patricia really needs to be careful when it comes to how he thinks the refs are going to call it. Because he's going to be in for a big surprise.
He is used to the way the refs call for New England, not the way that
the way they call it in Detroit.
Right.
So the Lions backfield was rated number 12 overall, according to Pro Football Focus, who is one of our affiliates.
Yep.
They took their number 12 spot, and two of their players were the highest rated in the group. Glover Quinn and, of course, Darius Slay.
Right.
They say Glover Quinn's been rated about an 80 or above for 5 years now.
Wow.
Or 5 of the last 6 years. And Slay broke up 40 passes over the last 4 seasons, only allowed a passer rating of 55.6.
Wow.
In 2017. That's amazing. That's really, really good. So if you have the number 12 defensive backfield, you have the number 8 offensive line. Why are we picked 6 and 10 and all these other crazy things?
Well, I think that it's just because of the way that the Lions are looked at by people outside of Detroit. They're looked at being the losers, the losing teams, the lower Lions, maybe even never being mid-range, better than a mid-range team, and they don't think they can get it done.
Plus, they have a first-year coach, and under Belichick, those coaches and general manager and all that have not done very well in other places. So I guess I can understand why they're saying what they're saying, because none of that is proven yet.
And, of course, the schedule, too.
And the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
that.
But,
I think we just got to call it the way we see it is BS, because I think they're going to be a lot better than what.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a lot better than that. I went 9-7, and I'm almost leaning to 10-6, but the schedule keeps me at 9-7.
Yeah.
It just does. I'm still taking away a game or two for the refs. I do that every year. And until something changes and I see it change on, when I'm watching the games during the year, I'm going to continue to do that.
Right.
So that's kind of where I have this team. Quinn says the roster can compete with anyone.
Right.
Do you?
I do. Of course, they got to do it. But I think that from what I've seen, from who they have brought in, and of course, I'm expecting a much better offensive line and a running game. If you make that better than what we were last year and keep the receiving game as good as it was last year, I think that got to give you more points. And more points, to me, equals more wins. Of course, you got to look at the defense too. But like we covered in the show, he's been bringing in people that know his defense to help train the younger, new people to it, a representative. So So I think they are ready to really surprise and shock people.
Okay, but what this says is, he says this roster can compete with anyone.
Yeah.
Now, what does compete mean? Does it mean that we play a great game but fall short and get the second place trophy every week? Or no, seriously, what do you think that means?
What I think it means is basically you're competing for the win, and sure, you're not going to win them all, but each game that you're in, you're capable of coming up with a win. You may not always come up with a win, but you got a competitive chance to win.
Right.
That's what I
mean, I get it, but I'm like, I would have been more comfortable with saying that this roster can beat anyone. Mm-hmm. But he said can compete with anyone, which doesn't mean a win.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in a way, we've competed for the last 2 years.
Right.
Went 9-7.
Mm-hmm.
Made the playoffs 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Should have made the playoffs at 10-6 last year, but we got screwed by the Atlanta game.
Yeah, we did.
I could have said that and got away with it.
Right.
Because it's very carefully worded if you look at it.
Yeah.
Let's go to something funny now.
Okay.
Carry-on Johnson.
All right. What's your nickname for him this week?
I'm going with Bags again.
Okay.
Because of this thing that they did on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network.
Right. Okay.
So playing on his first name, Carry-On, Peter Schrager crafted a carry-on celebration skit set around Johnson in a carry-on bag in the airport. Starting with putting his carry-on bag onto the security belt. Schrager acts out an elaborately constructed choreography replete with teammates using security wands on him as he passes with his hands up for TSE screening. The skit finishes with fighting for overhead carry-on space on the plane. Clever use of the word Carry-On Johnson. He's going to be a big topic of discussion this year. I don't think he has a breakout season this year, but I can see him as a breakout player maybe next year.
Right.
I don't know. If he has the burst he had in 2016, this could be a really good running back.
Yeah.
If he is the washed-up guy I seen in 2017, I don't give him a snowball chance in hell.
The only way that I can see him if when he does get the ball, and if he just goes ahead and every time he gets that ball and he produces overwhelmingly above the others, that would be the only way I could see him actually having breakup year this year.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I think he's going to be good. I just don't think. I don't know what to expect.
Right.
Better offensive line. Right. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid just a little bit, taking a little sip here and there, But I've been more of the realist of our group, and that's kind of where I sit a lot of times. I'm like, show me first, and then I'll see what I see. Like Kenny Galladay.
Oh, yeah.
Came out and showed us.
Yep.
And he says he wants to dominate this year.
And, of course, we all want him to,
Yeah, he could really be something. And that's another guy we're looking at this year. Kerry Hyder. Can he come back from the Achilles injury and produce like he did? There's a lot of one-year contracts coming and contracts that are coming up in the offseason. The Lions stand to be in a very good cap situation maybe next year. Mm-hmm. So that goes back to the signing of Ricky Jean-Francois. Yeah. He's a one-year deal.
Yep.
There's a lot of deals that are up. Golden Tate's deal is up this year. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be one of the first people to say this.
Yep.
I do not believe Golden Tate will be back with the Detroit Lions.
All right.
I don't.
Now, do you think it is because you don't think the Lions will need him, or do you think that he will be too high price?
It's not the Patriot way.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't pay their wide receivers all that well.
Right.
They don't have big-name wide receivers generally. Julian Edelman,
right.
All these other guys that show something, but they don't have no name until they're in New England because you don't have any idea who they are.
And that's true. We have seen wide receivers come and go from Patriots. I
mean, they'll go out and get a Randy Moss, or they'll go out and get somebody, fill a hole or whatever, but they don't keep a lot. And we already have Marvin Jones, Golden Tate, Kenny Galladay. It's a lot of resources in one position. I think Golden Tate is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's not worth it.
Right.
I think he is. I think he adds a dimension that we really need on our team.
Yeah.
But is it going to be worth the money that he's going to command after all these other people got big time money? He's going to go on the free agent market. He's going to get a lot of money.
Right.
And I think we're going to say goodbye to Golden Tate. It's sad for me because
Right.
I like the guy. I think he adds a lot to our team.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm predicting it right now.
Yep.
He does not come back to Detroit.
Yep. And, of course, we got to give kudos to Golden Tate because a lot of people are holding out, not from the Lions, luckily, but are holding out to get bigger money right now.
Yeah, better deals.
Yeah.
And he said, I signed a 5-year
Yeah.
contract and I plan to honor it.
Right.
And I like that about him. I like him as a person. I like him as a player. And it's going to be sad to see him go.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but unfortunately you're wrong. Just kidding.
Well, we'll see next year what goes on.
Yeah,
because
I just don't see us offering that kind of money. We
Right.
didn't do it for Ebron.
Mm-hmm.
And Ebron was actually developing into something.
Right.
We'll go with no-name guys or we'll draft people. We'll do it the Patriot way.
Yep.
And I really believe that this is going to be some of the things that we're going to have a hard time with in Detroit.
Yeah.
Well, we're a hard time because Ziggy Ansah won't be with us next year either.
Yep. We're used to getting those big names for big bucks and trying to keep them. We're used to that.
Yeah,
but,
and we're not used to New England's way of doing things. Like, if one of our guys gets really good, like, say, Ragnow gets really, really good, we will trade him.
Right.
We will trade him. We will trade, maybe not him because the value may not be there, but Taylor Decker. We'll trade him.
Yep.
If we can get a good enough draft pick, trade him in a heartbeat.
Because we just keep on building for the future, and that has worked, so you can't argue with success.
Right. But they do that just wanting everybody to know this is what happens.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing it their way, which seems like we are,
right,
you're going to think, oh, we've got this great team, and all of a sudden they trade one of the best players away. And you'll be like, what the heck are they doing? Well, this is exactly what they do in New England. And they bring some no-name guy in, and he does just as well.
Right.
Good enough.
Yep. Now, if we get Deflategate here, I think that's going a little bit too far.
Well, I think if we had the same thing that happened in New England and Detroit, we wouldn't have a franchise here.
Right.
The way the refs deal with us.
True.
I think if we were ever caught cheating, we just look at the Rooney Rule thing where we were fined and all this, took away a draft pick. And, they took away a draft pick for some other stupid thing, too. I can't remember what. In New England, they got away with a lot.
Oh, yeah, they did.
They're not going to get away with that here.
Taping other people's practices. And
they're not going to get away with that in Detroit. Because Detroit, they will not tolerate Detroit doing anything wrong.
No, they don't.
They'll fold the franchise before they. I'm not kidding. I think it's that bad. The NFL, not for Lions.
That does kind of fit,
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, we accept their apology every week about how they screwed us the week before, but I'm very cynical on the refs and the league and the way that they treat us.
Right.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's been fair for years. I think this is the way it is, and we're fans. We're not professionals. We don't have to sit here and worry about getting fined and worry about what we say. The refs suck, and they screwed us so many times. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, they have. They have.
I'm
not only the refs,
sick and tired of it.
Not only the refs, but the NFL as a league itself has.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, if we did the same thing that New England got caught for, we'd never hear the end of it.
Nope.
I mean, never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we'd have a franchise. I think they'd take our franchise from us.
It's just like when Schwartz was here and we got rougher and tougher, which is what the Lions were said to need back then. Well, then they really just brought out the penalty flags, and we were like looking, what the heck?
Yeah, every other team can do it. But then when we do it, and flag, Sue's the dirtiest player in the game and all this.
But he moves to Miami, and he's not the dirtiest player in the
Nope. Now he was the number one free agent, or whatever defensive tackle, goes over to the Rams.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
You know, I know how we get treated versus the rest of the league.
Yeah.
But this is supposed to be a time of sunshine and rainbows, and so we're kind of raining on the parade here just a little bit.
Yeah, we don't want to do that too much.
To do that too bad, but I'm just getting everybody prepared because this is the way New England works, and so far it's been holding true to form. I mean, they've gotten under the radar people. They've gotten. I mean, Christian Jones is really one of my biggest examples this week of the under the radar guy. Yeah, we've never heard of before. We should have. He's in our division.
Yeah, we should.
But he led the Bears in tackles. I said it before in the show. He led the Bears in tackles.
Yeah,
which probably isn't a great feat for the Bears, but still.
Right.
No, seriously though. I mean, that is a big thing.
Yeah, it is.
But yet, when we got all the other linebackers, he kind of just was another name in there, like he was going to be like a role player or something.
Right.
But I think he fills a big need here.
Yeah. And of course, that's the way they do it. Is they bring in people that you don't know, may not have heard of as much,
right, but can produce.
Yeah, and really, that is what wins championships.
Yeah, it's the money ball.
Yeah,
basically of football.
Right.
The Oakland A's story with Billy Beane.
Yeah.
The money ball. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, you guys out there, but it's a bunch of no-name players, but they're adding up wins.
Right.
How do you get to wins mathematically?
Yeah.
And this is how you do it. And New England's done it for a long period of time with basically nobody. I mean, I'm not saying nobody, but boy, for years I'm like, we got a better team than they do. I mean, we got more stars than they do.
Right.
We got better players.
Well, look at
Except
it when,
for Brady.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Right, and look at when, New England, when they're hiring or, drafting people like Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, when they were hiring, drafting the big names and stuff, they got close to winning Super Bowl titles, but they didn't.
And then they took Brady in the 6th round.
Yeah. And Bledsoe got hurt. Then they
put him in.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Never looked back. And now a very special segment of our show. We're going to go to the Roar Zone with Kevin Frentner. And take it away, Kevin.
And now, brought to you by the Maniacs of Lions on the Prowl.
Here is the Roar Zone with Kevin Frentner, a.k.a. The Roar.
Welcome back, everybody, and once again you have entered the Roar Zone with Kevin the Roar Frentner. And I want to give a big shout out to Jim and Tim. And you guys hit some of the points that I had for my fantasy to this week, so wonderful. I love how it ties in together. So one of the things here that I want to give some props out, and that's Legendary Player of the Week, and that's Lomas Brown. Lomas, much love, irreplaceable, and we hope that you do well in broadcasting because you have some big shoes to fill. So much luck, and we will be paying attention. Also, injuries. That can play a huge factor in fantasy. So some of the things and some of the players that have hit on where it was spoke about, hiding the injuries and why do they do this and what it does and how it affects us. One of the big things is an injury. There are so many different levels to the injury that it is kind of hard, and a lot of coaches and teams don't like to talk about it. It can cause issues, problems, panic, stirring up some things. Other teams paying attention to this. Those things are kind of left out of the dark a little bit. Now, when I talked last week about the defense and where I thought they might be a sleeper, well, then we had a couple injuries that happened. We got Kennard with something going on. Anza put on the PUP list. Now, I'm not too worried and too scared. I think one of the key things here is with Anza is keeping him off of the training in the field kind of as much as possible, maybe even to limit. And the fact is maybe not as much of, here, this is injured, but something that might have came up that, causing a little bit of issue to maybe give him a little bit of problem. So if you keep him away, we don't have the bigger problems, as we want to see him for 16 weeks of the season, contributing as he does, which I believe he will. So I'm not going to worry about him so much on that. I think that might be a Lions kind of, a little ploy, precaution, per se. So with that, and with Kennard, I didn't hear any reports of something major. So I'm not too worried on the defensive side of it. I'm still going with some of our players that we have, and with the new scheme, we have at every level of the defense somebody who has been in the system for over 6 weeks in Patricia's style defense. So, these guys, veterans who can teach, who can help, get the guys up to speed. We have a lot of depth in there as well, versatile players. We are very versatile. So I'm not too worried about that. I still say they're a sleeper defense. Don't shy away. Don't let these injuries so far keep you from picking your Detroit Lions defense as a sleeper, because I believe that they are going to get you some points. Also, another injury, and I'm not too sure about how the injury, and that is Marvin Jones. He stopped practicing, but he left. He says he's fine. We'll see. I wouldn't put him back out there either. Let him sit and see how it goes, from there. I still pick him. I'm still not worried. He's not a player that gets injured. He'll give you 16 weeks. Could be a fluke. Cramping up a little bit maybe. Seems okay. So in that sense, I'm going to say okay to that. Now, the other things we have to think about is the other teams in the matchup, which I will get into. Maybe next week I'll start talking about week 1 of our preseason and the matchups, and kind of a little bit of things on how to look for certain things and what to look for. We do have a lot of players that are coming up. One name that comes to mind is T.O. Redding, which has shown so far in practices that he really wants it. Now, I kind of like what I see. Can he take over a spot of T.J. Jones? I'm not too sure. Not yet. Maybe. We'll see how that pans out. When you take some of these players and see to week, it can kind of give you an idea of how they match up, which teams they're going to play against, how they will fare out in terms of progression, how they can get you some points, those kinds of different things that a lot of people don't look into so far, as to say, okay, let's look back at how this player has played against these defenses. Do the defenses dominate? Do they shut him down? Does he seem to find a way to get through? Is he catching the film on these guys and just taking advantage? So these are a lot of things, because week to week, we may pick a guy and that we might not want to pick next week. And we might go with someone else, from a different team, which I will talk about a little bit of players from different teams. I'll probably start with some division teams. We play them the most, and kind of get like a little idea, I'd say, on how they match up. Heck, you might even want to take a player from another team, which, this is fantasy here, but nobody's better than our Lions. And you might want to play them because, for instance, if it were the Bears and, Bears defense kind of shuts us down, or Jordan Howard just seems to know how to run all over us. There are different things and different, factors that you have to understand where certain players shine. And they shine from week to week. And a lot of them have a history of different teams. Okay? That's, for instance, Aaron Rodgers. How long did it take him to win a game against the Bengals? It took him a very long time. But he finally did it. And so that's a kind of a key point there, that even though he might beat him once, I don't know that I pick Aaron Rodgers if he's on my fantasy when he has to face the Bengals. Whether it's a playoff game, a season game, it doesn't matter. He just doesn't fare well against them. They have his number pulled. So those are a couple things to think about. I'm keeping it short this week because I have a lot of things that I want to hit on more next week. And we are kind of getting in there to where we're getting into the season. We're gonna talk more players. We're gonna broaden the horizons a little bit and talk about a few more things. And with that, I just want to say thank you all for listening. Make sure, because PFF, which is Pro Football Focus, clicking the link up top will direct you to find out all this information as I bring it to you. And you can check facts with it. You can even get more. They are loaded down with everything. And clicking on that also helps us grow. So give them a look. With that being said, I want to say a good big shout out. And I always leave you with this. Go Lions! One pride. All day. Day. Feel my roar. Until next week, guys. Have a good week. If you're traveling, be safe. Get ready. We got that Hall of Fame game coming out Thursday. That'll be a fun time. I can't wait. Football is just around the corner.
What a Roar Zone this week. That was a really awesome segment. Thanks, Kevin. We really appreciate you listening to us this week. It's been a good show. Yeah. Training camp is here, and the Kool-Aid is flowing, and everybody's happy. We're all on hopium. We're trying to get this team into the Super Bowl. Right. That's what we want to do. And so we appreciate you listening, like I said. Yeah. Look us up on iHeartRadio and give us a follow. iTunes, give us a subscribe there. Right. We also have Spotify. Yeah. All kinds of different outlets for you. Stitcher, FM Player. Yeah. There's all kinds. Player FM, I'm sorry. I said that backwards.
And, of course, check out our website, too, at lionsontheprowl.com. Yep.
That's where you can find the link for Pro Football Focus if you want to help us out there. We have a donation button up there, too, that would help us get to video. If you would like to make a donation, there's a donation button at the top right corner of the site. If you could do that for us, it's well appreciated.